So hi everybody, and thank you for joining us for our first webinar with Airbus. So I'm going to present you first the ActInSpace concept and the event, and after we will let you with our Airbus experts to present their challenges. So ActInSpace has been created in 2024 by CNES, and it's co-organized by ESA, and CNES and ESA decided to give the operation part to the Aerospace Valley. So since its creation, ActInSpace have met 35 startups creating, and now still supported by 16 international partners. So since the first edition. So to give you the ActInSpace timeline, so it has been created in 2024. It was only a French edition. So I'm going to speak about the international edition. So it started in 2016. This edition gathered 12 countries, 24 cities, around 900 participants, and 14 startups have been created. So the next edition was the 2018, and now we are to the 2020 edition. And for this edition, we are waiting almost 50 countries, 100 cities, and around 5,000 participants. And we hope that 35 startups will be created and more after this hackathon and this edition. So to give you the ActInSpace goals, so during 24 hours, teams are come together and working on the same subject and challenges based on technology and data from space and new services and innovation. But the goals of ActInSpace are also to make your dream bigger and give you the opportunity to become an entrepreneur, to highlight the space sector in the world and its daily impact in our society. We also want to highlight the contribution to the social economic growth and the startup creation that ActInSpace is doing, and also create kind of cooperation between the space and non-space companies and make patent licensing more accessible to all the participants of ActInSpace. So when I'm talking about the patent, I just want to explain you how the ActInSpace challenges were born. So CNES had many patents, space patents, hidden away from a long time, and they were not used. So they decided to make them accessible to all participants of ActInSpace in order to try to give the opportunity to use it and make something maybe in subject with the space sector or not just space sector. And the idea was to develop new idea with this patent, and Airbus just joined ActInSpace after as a sponsor, and they decided to contribute to this patent with data, and that's how the challenges were created. So the real bonus of the event is by joining this event, you will have access to the patent, and CNES patent will help you to maybe create or develop a startup or an idea, and we really want to do as ActInSpace, give you this opportunity more than any other event or something like this. So I'm going to let Airbus present their challenges, and thank you so much.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Arnaud Deligny. I'm working in Aerospace, and today I will introduce the different challenges that we have for the ActInSpace competition. So this is how it's gonna work for today. So I will spend about 10 minutes just to introduce quickly what is Aerospace globally. And then we'll spend about 10 minutes per challenge. So today we have 6 challenges for ActInSpace. And so if you get any question, please use the chat function that you have on the tool, and we'll take some time at the end to answer all of that with all of the people around me. So for today, this is the list of the people that will talk. So let me please introduce Robin. So Robin is in charge of the ecosystem management between the corporate of Airbus and the startup world. So Robin is working in connecting intelligence. We have Matthew Lees, which is the head of innovation at Defense and Space. We have Anthony, which is leading the advanced studies about research and technology and research and development. And me, Arnaud, Denis, I'm working in the digital innovation for space system. So sorry, but for the moment, Matthew cannot connect. So we expect, or he might maybe be able to connect at the end of the session to answer the different questions. So just before going in the detail, I would propose to spend the talks and just maybe 2 minutes to introduce who we are, let's say as Airbus. So I propose we come back in 2 minutes and I think we can launch the movie. Okay, so keep reaching for the stars. It was really the handword that we have seen in the movie, and globally, I guess and I think that we'll find new stars during this hackathon for that year. So let me just now introduce, thank you, Airbus. So, you know, as everything starts with a why. And on that chart, we will find really the Airbus space motto, which is our slogan, which is making space a universe of possibilities for everyone. And clearly, I'm getting a purpose to improve life on Earth and even beyond. So cutting-edge technology is really what animates all of the people that are working in aerospace. And I have another quotation that I really like. This is that one. So this is from Jean-Marc Nass, which is the head of Space System. And he said that the portfolio is truly inspirational. We help our partners going to the moon and Mars. Around the world, our satellites keep people connected and protected. Our exploration to the far reaches of our solar system help us understand the origin of life. And really, the fact to be committed to protect and connect people on the Earth and even beyond is really the passion that we share at Airbus. So this is part of our DNA, and this is also explaining why today we are there with Aerospace, CNES, and ESA in order to support the ActInSpace hackathon, and we are really, really proud to be part of that adventure. So, yeah, let me just now introduce a little bit our portfolio of products and services. So it's really, really diverse. There is plenty of different stuff. So I will only show you, let's say, a few of them, which are, I guess, the most interesting, and that maybe you will be able to reuse during your hackathon during the project. So let's start by the Eurostar Neo. So this one is really the telecom custom made. This is one of the top telecommunication spacecraft with the maximum performance and efficiency in order to answer any customer need. So this is a quite big one and geostationary orbit and can do almost what you want. But if you want a smaller, cheaper, or even a faster time to market satellite for telecommunication, we have that one, which is a very fresh one. It's called OneSat. And OneSat is a fully flexible satellite using a digital payload. And with that digital payload, we are able to reconfigure in orbit in order to adapt to the customer needs to do what you need. And in order also to reduce the cost to orbit, we can even launch it alone, but we can also stack it by 2 or even by 3 under the same fairing in order to reduce the cost. OneSat, this is really the new, let's say, telecommunication flagship. If you are looking in order to reduce the latency, if you want high throughput with a minimum latency in order to connect to the world, OneWeb is for you. And OneWeb, we are really happy to see that now it will be a feature with the British and the India. And OneWeb is based on the platform, which is called Arrow. This is the name of the bus, if you have. And the real disruption for that is coming from, you know, the ways that we will deliver the product. And today we are about 1, but tomorrow will be about 2 or 3 satellites a day. That has never been done before in Europe. And this is really the big breakthrough that OneWeb will deliver very soon. Already a lot of satellites are in orbit to make the service. Okay, so all of that was about telecommunication, but if you are looking for Earth observation, let me just now show you the space fleet in order to observe what's happening in space. On the Earth, sorry. So globally, we have 2 different categories. On the left, this is the optical constellation, and on the right, this is the radar constellation. So for optical, it's more or less easy to understand and to interpret. It's kind of imagery, the same as you can take with a smartphone. But on the right, with the radar constellation, it's a bit more tricky. So it's actually more processing, but you can see just everything, and especially you can see the unseen with the radar from space. And if you are using optical resolution, optical constellation, we have different capability with different resolution. So for example, on the very top left, we have the Pléiades Neo. So Pléiades Neo will be launched next year. Normally it should have been done this year, but we got also Corona. And Pléiades Neo is just impressive because you will get a big daily revisit. So twice a day, 2 times a day, it will come on the same point on the Earth with a different angle, but we'll be able to check everything on the Earth twice a day with a 30 centimeter resolution, 30 centimeter resolution, which is just amazing. But if you don't need that level of revisit, we have also the Pléiades, which is already orbiting around the Earth. So today we have 2 satellites part of that constellation, and we have daily revisits, 1 time a day, about 50 to 70 centimeter in approximatic and different boundaries. And we have also the DMC partnership with the constellation, which get a more bigger footprint on the Earth, but we have, let's say, lower resolution, which is about 10 to 20 meters. but we can have, let's say, big imagery such as 1,030 kilometers of size. So yeah, in fact, what you want to do on Earth and whatever for climate change, cyber, protection, emergency, what you want, we have, let's say, an adapted solution that will fit to the need. But we'll come back on that, especially with some challenges and others that we have. About the Earth, also, we have that famous Copernicus and Sentinel's capability, where Aerospace have a major contribution in the European Commission project and with the ESA. And globally, we have different whatever instruments or satellites that give us some capability about ocean monitoring, atmosphere, climate change, land, security, but also emergency management wherever you want on the Earth. And these data are accessible through platform that maybe you can also access. And this is part of the portfolio. So everything of that was about the Earth, which is good. But if you want to go a little bit beyond, if you are, for example, looking for the moon, we have these assets, which is called Orion. And for Airbus, we are building the bus modules, which is a mission critical element for the NASA human spaceflight mission. And with that bus, we are building the structure, the propulsion, the thermal, the guidance, and everything that will let the astronauts to go to the moon with a maximum safety and going to the right location. But if the moon is not good for you and you want to go even beyond, you can reach Mars. And for Mars, we are building not yet a crewed habitat, but a rover at that point, and you should know about it because there is another name for that. It's called Rosalind Franklin. And yes, it has been sent during that summer. It's on the road to Mars, and normally it will land in very good condition in a few months or by 2021 in order to explore and detect life on Mars. There was also some other quite amazing capabilities that we have, which is this famous Rosetta and Philae. And I don't know, but if you have already just tried or even thought to land on a comet 6 billion kilometers far away and 10 years after the launch, which is just quite totally amazing. And just imagine what today we can do with the actual set of technologies that we have, and even in 10 years. So this is the kind of thing that we have today available in the portfolio. Sorry?
So the sound seems to be bad.
We'll try to improve. We'll try to cancel it. Yeah, please continue to use the chat if you have an issue with the sound or the movie or the charts, and yeah, we'll try to adapt. Okay, so this one was about Rosetta, but if you are also looking to go not on a comet, but going to Jupiter and just trying to understand what about the icy moon and searching for life on another planet, we have this JUICE spacecraft, which is currently under development and that will that will be launched next year. And the last one is it's quite a cool mission, but really the hottest mission we can have within Airbus, which is trying to understand what's happening in the heliosphere. So this is coming with Solar Orbiter, and I don't know if you check, but we have published, and ESA has published the last picture. It was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago with high rendering. And this is just totally amazing. So yeah, you can download it on the ESA, and this is thanks to the Solar Orbiter mission. Okay, so this was the let's say the wide, diverse portfolio of Aerospace, but maybe the very last one should be more interesting for you because it will give a unique capability in order to test the payload in space. And that one, it's called Bartholomew. And Bartholomew is really the fresh, new existing capability in order to host your payload and to test, experiment your concept in space. And with that, we are providing the end-to-end services with the ride share and the launch and the connection and the telemetry and all of what you need. And in terms of sizing, we can host some units coming from 3 units, so quite small one, up to 81 units, which is about 1 cubic meter. So it can be a very large payload that we can also host on that platform. And from
payload point of view, it's about between 4 kilograms and 500 kilograms that we can test in orbit for you. The mission lead time is about 12 months, and we have an opportunity of launch each 3 months. So if you get any idea, please tell us, and maybe we'll have to see if we can negotiate a launch pad or launch option in the next 3 months. So yeah, this was globally what we are doing in Aerospace. There was a lot of people behind us. We are also working, of course, on the launcher. So this is thanks to the joint venture that we have with Ariane Group and Safran. And today we have the famous Ariane 5, while Ariane 6 that will come next year with 62, 64. So yeah, we have also this new capability, which is not only for big single payload, but we have dual launch, we have right chair, and we have different capabilities that we can also give you access in order to launch what you want. So it was globally what we are doing. Now we'll move to the challenge, yeah, what is also important in that is everything that you have seen before, the people that are working on that, whatever the expert or the business modeler or business development, some of them will also totally be available during the hackathon, whatever locally, physically, or remotely, thanks to the app, the ActInSpace app, in order to help you to answer your different questions. So if you get any question about something that you have seen, please be free either to ask for the moment to Aerospace Valley or to use the application during the hackathon, and we'll be happy to answer your question and help you in your project. So now let's move to the challenge. Just before starting the very first one, which is about climate change, one of our deep purpose in the company, we propose you another movie, and then Robin will introduce the next challenge.
The Intelligence Program line of Airbus Defence and Space offers various services in multiple areas: defense and security, maritime surveillance, agriculture, forestry, civil institutions, oil gas mining, avionics, location-based services. Thanks to its satellites, constellation, and third-party data. But we intend to go further. How? By using open innovation. Why? Because open innovation will help us to scale up, accelerate, and boost our digital business, creating new partnerships in distinctive markets. With our One Atlas platform, we allow partners and third parties to develop new business, leveraging Airbus data, processing, analytics, and insights, facilitating scalability. To develop this ecosystem, we decided to support various initiatives in order to support partners creating new value-added services, and then closely collaborate with them. To make it happen, we have created dedicated tools to open the use of high-grade Earth observation data. First, the sandbox to design the idea. And second, the playground to prototype it. When mature enough, various options of partnerships can be proposed. This is how open innovation works at Airbus. Which new business are you ready to develop with Earth observation data?
Okay, so okay, thank you, Arnaud, for this great overview about Aerospace. Is everything okay?
Sharing the screen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, as you understood with this video, so now we will talk about Earth observation challenge. So actually, it will be the next 2 challenges. So the first one is fight for climate change, and the second one is the power of Earth observation and AI. So if I come back to the last video, as you understand, we have different satellites available in the sky. So we have optical satellites and we have also radar satellites. So with different resolution, as Arnaud explained to you before. So during the two next challenge that I'm going to present you, both of the satellites will be available. So the optical satellites will be available thanks to the Pleiad with a resolution of 50 centimeters and Spot with a resolution of 1.5 meters. And also, we will give you the opportunity to work on TerraSAR X satellites, which can have a resolution, a various resolution from 30 centimeters up to several meters resolution, depending on your bandwidth. Here in Airbus Intelligence, what we do is to operate the satellites which are built by our coworker InSpace system. We have an open innovation initiative in Airbus Intelligence. It means that we are not only interested to build challenge and hackathon, but we are interested about startups and projects. So what we want, thanks to these two challenges, is to discover new ideas. It can be very general. With the first one, it will be fight for climate change. So it will have a real target for environment. But the second one, as you will see, it will be the power of Earth observation with artificial intelligence. So you can touch several markets and do not only focus in one specific market. You can really have a big vision and a wide vision. So what I want to say here is that we are looking to build something together, not only to say, okay, you have win one challenge, we give you a prize, but what we want to do is to embed you as a startup, as a project team with us. So it can be done by several things at the end. It can be done by a reseller agreement, it can be done by a co-development of algorithm and integration in our marketplace and so on. So keep in mind that you are not just participating to the challenge, but you are also participating, why not, to the Airbus future. So if I come back to the first challenge, fight for climate change. So here, and same for the next challenge, we will give you access to the sandbox. So you can find the sandbox here on this website. So the sandbox is actually a website where you will be able to find several data sets. It will be about 12 to 15 different data sets of images on different thematics. So we will have a thematic on agriculture, forestry, maritime, cities, energy, and so on. So whatever you are interested for, you will find the right image and the right data sets. So each data set are composed of 20 to 50 satellite images. It can be optical, it can be radar, it can also be HAPS, the high altitude pseudo satellites. It's a drone. So this is for demo purpose, but why not to have a look on it? So if you go to the sandbox website, you will see that it's very simple to understand how does it work. And also, if you want to find it directly on Google, simply search Airbus Sandbox and it will be the first result that will pop up. So if you go to the sandbox, you will see the different data sets. And to request the data set, it's very easy. You just have to fill out a contact form with your name, surname, the project, email address, and so on. And then we will validate your request and you will receive the image through a URL link that will be given to you in an email address. So more specifically on this challenge, I don't need to say so much. Fight for climate change, it's very talkative. So here we are interested to see new ideas regarding the environment, because as you know, the planet is not feeling so well recently. So here we are more than open to have new ideas and new projects regarding environment and what can be done thanks to our images. So it can be done, for example, why not in mobile application, it can be done on algorithm. So everything is possible. And also we give you access to our images through APIs. So if you want to automatize your project and your prototype, that can be done very easily. So if you go to this website, forest environment, you will see some ideas and some example of what can be done to our satellites regarding environment. For example, in Airbus, we have a dedicated service named Starlink, made to fight against deforestation in Amazonia. So this is one of the examples that can be done thanks to satellite images, but I'm sure that you will find more and maybe better. Why not? The second challenge that I mentioned before, the power of Earth observation and artificial intelligence. So here it's quite the same than before. The dataset will be still available on the sandbox. But here we are not only focusing on environment, but we are open to all the markets. So that's why here all the boxes are ticked. So you see that it can be energy, IT, health, security, environment, agriculture, and other. So we are open to every thematic here. So for example, in our Airbus intelligence website, named One Atlas, we have services for automatically counting the car in parking lots. We also have an automatic change detection algorithm. So all of that is made in artificial intelligence and machine learning. We also have a service for maritime named Ocean Finder that can automatically detect the ship in the ocean. And we have much more also in agriculture for precision agriculture. So here, this challenge is much more open than the first one. The first one, you are not. It's not mandatory to use artificial intelligence to answer the question of climate change. Here on this second, it's a little bit more technical. So we will have to combine Earth observation satellite data plus artificial intelligence in order to build a prototype and to demonstrate it to the jury. I think that's all for me. I'll be more than happy to answer your question at the end of this webinar. And anyway, I will be there to support you during the event. So we keep in touch.
Okay, thank you, Robin. Thanks a lot. Now let's move to the challenge number 3. Now this one is a little bit different. So, you know, for each hackathon, we already have a lot of surprises. And for that challenge, this is really totally different from all the other ones. So you have to be totally open-minded and please be free to think and to plan a very bold project. So this is called the Moon Race Challenge. And the idea is how to contribute to the new era of human space exploration by building a disruptive new space business with a worldwide public-private companies. So an example, just imagine that we are in 2025. So in 5 years ago, the world will be totally different. So digital transformation will become really a strong cry for business and new technology strategists. The world will be high-tech, robust, brilliant, and I guess resilient, with a lot of new disruptive actors and massive new business and affordable services. As an example, let's have a look to these 3 kind of family: the technology, the product, and the services. So from a technological point of view, we'll have some cloud, and not only on Earth, but I guess in space also. We'll have a lot of new big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, or analytics in general using a space product, whatever on imagery, but maybe also on operation, telemetry, and so on. The Internet of Things will become a reality with a lot of constellation that today are working on that. 3D printing, and that today we are doing in ISS, maybe tomorrow we'll do that outside the ISS. And it can be a kind of robotic in space. We'll come back on it. Virtual reality to connect the Earth with space. A digital twin, which is the digital model of any new system in order to simulate and predict any issue that we could have. Collaborative solution connecting again the digital citizen with the space astronaut and even beyond, and with a lot of new assets, especially on cognitive or different. So all of the technologies that we have today are really, you know, on the peak of the development, and there are they are going to be really, really mature very soon in order to be fully industrialized and really to change the way we do business. But this is only technology, and if there is no need, but it doesn't really serve the business. From a product point of view, whatever for the satellites and the launcher, we will have also a radical change in the size of what we are doing. For example, we have a lot of new small launchers which are currently under development, whatever in many countries of the world. So small launcher, about 1, 5, or 10 kilograms of payload, but also big launchers such as heavy or super heavy that in 5 years normally should already be available on the market. And the same for the satellites. Satellites we are getting more and more small satellites with nanosat and a lot of CubeSat. But also, if we have super heavy capability, we will have totally different way to build satellites in the future. So this is also a big change in the way that we'll go to space. And the same for the space imagery. We'll have higher optical resolution. We can guess that. Cyber we will be there with monitoring, protection, and all of that. So we have also to be a strong actor on it in order to secure the space. Crewed habitat, and and there is a lot of different capsules that are ongoing and that will deliver our people in space. And the flattable structure also are part of the development. And from a service point of view, we have, which is at the beginning, but that will really help us in the future, what we call the in-space manufacturing, or this kind of robots that help you to assemble structure in space. And we have a specific challenge on it, and Anthony will talk about that after. But we have also some robots or robotic assistant to the crewed habitat or even to do other autonomous tasks. The drones, debris removal, which is also extremely important if we still want to go in space safely. The ground segment will also move to a different state in the future. There are some different intention also to connect the ground segment to the web in order to have a kind of connected ground segment and to be able to pilot, monitor, or deliver insights from your spacecraft anywhere, anytime. And what I call at the end by situational awareness, or space situational awareness, or space situational intelligence. It's also extremely important. I will be back on it just after. So all of that in 5 years in terms of technology, product, and services will be fully mature in order to deliver maximum benefit for the business. Okay, that's a fact. Now the question is, what if? What if in 2025 we had to leave the Earth? And whatever the reason, it can come from Earth, it can come from space, it can be an alien invasion, what you want, we don't care. But the fact is, what if we have to leave quickly? And if we want to do that, we want to go fast and to really disrupt the way that we go. So we don't, have dozens of billions to invest with one people to develop a full system. It's not the way, and today we cannot afford that. But we want to do that with a maximum number of partners in order to define a new way to reach the stars. And before going outside the Earth, we want to test and validate the system. And for us, the moon is really a very good proof of concept in order to check that everything will be robust and to validate the concept. So for that, we need a lot of people, and the question that is raised to you is, how can you help us in order to achieve the objective? So the mission is the following. This is, please, with what we have seen before, use multiple products, services, technology, and connect all of that together in order to create a massive, scalable, and highly available new function to support the moon-based settlement. The idea, again, is not to take the full system on your shoulder, but this is so big and the cake is so big that there is at least a part for everybody. So just try to identify what you want to do and go full speed on it. But if you have to do that, please consider the 3 following cluster or family. The first one is about feasibility. So you have to imagine a brand new disruptive concept. You can find inspiration looking to what is currently under development or going in a different nation. But what is really important for us is you have to draft, explain your value proposition with concrete facts, visual, prototype, mock-up, IP reference, code, or what you want, but please show us that this is technically feasible, or it will be in a very soon time frame. This is the technical part. Then for the desirability, which is maybe one of the most tricky parts, you have to show them that you are desirable. So you have to find a market and a customer and people that will be ready to invest in your project. And this is big enough. So you just have to identify the customer segmentation, whatever for B2B. So it can be agency or private sectors, B2C, so for any customer around the world, or B2G, whatever, government or military. And alone is the quickest way, but clearly on that case, you cannot go alone. So you have just to partner with a lot of people, and you have to explain in your business model what will be your ecosystem in order to reach the objective. And the viability, great ideas are cool, but the profitable ones are really better. And we don't want you to die in 2 years. We just want you to have a strong impact on the earth and really to continue to move on and to grow your startup. So you have also to show us that your business will be profitable. Business viability, is really important. So you have to assess the cash flow, the risk, the opportunity, the competition, and all of that. And we guess that a break-even in less than 2 years is quite good if you still want to continue to live after, but we can discuss about that. So go fast. Time is running. We have 5 years to deliver the system, but in fact, you only have 1 day to make it happen. But we'll be there with you in order to support you. So if you are interested in that challenge, this is about almost everything. We have some needs in energy, IT, IoT, health, security, environment, agriculture. This is challenge number 3 on the website for ActInSpace. For the next one, challenge number 4, it's called Future of Small Satellites for New Payload. And clearly for that, the idea is to invent new concept of small satellites or payload to be onboarded on the Airbus family. So if you look to what's happened on the new space, we have more and more new solutions coming with smaller satellites with shared launch and new high-tech electronics. And we can take the example of OneWeb with the 600 to 900 of different satellites that will connect every people on the planet. So we have different ways to build the satellites, not only in space, but also on Earth. So have a look to the drone market, which is also fast expanding. So I'm thinking to apps or UAV, and especially we can take the example of Zephyr, which is a UAV flying about 70,000 feet, so 20 kilometers for about a month, totally autonomously. And doing that, you have just a capability to host a payload for a full month on a specific area to do what you want. And if we look also to what's happening on the payload side, we can see that the electronics is going smaller and smaller. There is a real miniaturization and research sharing between all of that a lot of new startups are taking benefits of. And clearly, this is a question. We have just beautiful product that can do amazing stuff. We are getting a cheaper and smaller and new payload. So now the question is which kind of mission we can create in order to create a new business. And so in fact, this is already the challenge I mentioned. So please be free to propose new concept or small satellites or payload that we can take on board on satellites. So to help you, we want also to inspire you and to give you some ideas. So what you can do in terms of mission, it could be about Earth observations. We talk a lot about climate change, and I think it's very important. We have a lot about telecommunication, humanitarian, exploration, security, and all of that, which is a kind of family where you can act proposing a new payload. And to help you more on the technical way, we wanted you to give you, let's say, the technical specification of one of our top, let's say, spacecraft, which is OneWeb. So OneWeb is based on the Arrow platform. So the platform, this is the bus plus the thermal, the guidance, and all of that. And using that link, we'll be able to find all of that information. So for sure, this is public information, but you will have, let's say, a view on the orbit, on the power consumption, on the thermal protection, and all of the different requirements in order to host your payload. So this is about OneWeb, but we have also Zephyr, as I said before. So Zephyr, yeah, we have also a lot of information on the internet, but we can also help you because we have two alternatives in Zephyr. We have the small and the big one in order to carry some different payload. So anyway, this is part of that. So what we expect for you, from you is to define the business case. So who are your customers? What are the needs? What do you try to solve as a challenge? What about your cash flow, so revenue and cost structure? And again, but that one is really, really important for all of the different challenge, but yeah, especially that one also, which is what makes you different from the other. The idea is not to be better than the other. The idea is to be unique, and just from a different point of view, that you can just bring something that the others are not doing today. And yeah, at the end, okay, so we talk a lot about the service and the product, but please have an inclusive view and a mega view. So taking into consideration all of the different stuff that you will have to deliver and think about. And for example, we have the famous onboard segment, whatever for satellite or even a drone, we have to pilot and to master to operate the drone. And the ground segment for the satellite with control center, application, infrastructure, network, and all of that, that also have a strong cost that you have to consider and find a bold way to achieve it. And again, the idea is not to reduce something that exists, it's really to build on the existing capability and trying to find the right business model, connecting the right units in the different ecosystem in order to create something new. So yeah, if you like it, this is new pilot challenge, challenge number 4 on the ActInSpace website. The next one is more a coding challenge, or not only a coding, but it's about big data and analytics. It's called Be a Space Brainer. And the need to monitor space has never been so important. Can you help us in order to monitor and predict what will happen in space? This is what we request from you. So if we have a look to what we did globally at the Earth level since the beginning, let's say, of the space conquest, what we have seen is in 60 years, we have launched about 10,000 of spacecraft in space, which is okay for the moment. But when we are looking to the next decade, especially, we still have, let's say, the traditional and conventional spacecraft, which is good, but we'll have a lot of new nanosat, CubeSat, and a lot of new constellation that will provide a massive new number of spacecraft. Well, thinking to OneWeb, Starlink, Kuiper, Telesat Leo, and there is a lot of other ideas ongoing with dozens and dozens of satellites to be launched into the next years. So there is some prediction, and apparently this is about 60,000 of new satellites to be launched in the next 10 years. That's okay. But this is also as many risks that will send in space and potential future debris that we need to monitor, predict, and deliver actionable insights in order to secure the space. And there is some famous, let's say, prediction about what could happen if one object collides to another one, which collide to another one, and there is an exponential growth, and at the end, this is the full chaos in space. So we don't want to reach that objective, and we want to take care about that. So globally, mainly on the different constellation, there is some, some small rockets in order to reduce the altitude at the end for desorbitation, but it will not gonna be in one day. It will take weeks, months, and even years sometimes before the satellites come back on Earth and burn in the atmosphere. And during all of that time, we have also to take care if you want to launch other spacecraft. So there was a lot of people that want to take care about that, and they are especially about satellite operator, institution, insurance, space agency, regulation, but we have also the government, the military, and a lot of people that really wants to know what's happening and what will happen in space in the future. So for the challenge itself, the idea is going to create a digital solution, a digital platform to help to monitor and predict the different behavior of the satellites and the debris in Earth orbit. When I mean satellites and debris, please do not only focus on debris, which is good and cool, but maybe we have also some intelligence or some value that we can have just monitoring what's happening with the different satellites that we have in orbit. What we expect for you is really also to have a feasible solution with a clear business model. So cash flow is always very important, and your business model with the different partnership is also critical to success. And you have to explain why you are so different, because today we have some solutions. So competition is there, but the idea is to see how you can fit in the current landscape in order to propose something new. And in addition, please consider also not only the digital platform itself, but also have a look to everything around. So for example, you have to consider the data collection. How can you get and collect that data from space? How can you process that data? How can you create some intelligence? And how can you sell this value to which customer? So again, it's not only just about the coding in Python, but you have also to consider which infrastructure, which partnership with maybe other industries, which kind of sensor you will use. Maybe you want to make business with another existing established company, and what you want. There is many to do, different views. I don't want to just give you one way, but yeah, please be free to connect with the existing ecosystem and propose something different. And you know, in this famous AI future, we have this famous stage. We have the reporting stage, which is the first one, what's happening in space. Then we have the diagnosis stage. Why did it happen? Then we have the prediction, what will happen in the future. And the next one, the last one, is the prescription. What is the best action to take now in order to avoid that issue? So what we want to target with that specific challenge is really about the prediction, the prescription, let's say, target, which is not only, it's good to report and diagnose, but we want really to go one step ahead and taking the very latest technologies that we have on Earth in order to predict that. The sky is not falling, yes or no, I don't know. Do I have to maneuver here, or can I just sit this one out? We need your help in order to answer the solution. So if you want to help and contribute to that, this is challenge number 5, and we'll be happy to connect you with our IT teams and business also in order to find the best business model. Thank you. It was challenge number 5. So we still have one challenge to present before the question answer. This is challenge number 6, and Anthony will introduce the challenge.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Anthony. I'm talking about challenge number 6. So we already have seen very amazing challenges. So once again, feel free to ask questions in the chat. We'll begin to answer them right after. So all of the challenges we have already presented need clearly hardware in space. We need to send payloads, we need to send spacecraft, even moon bases perhaps one day. But how physically do we enable this new asset in space? That's the challenge number 6. We need to put clearly more digits in the size of the satellites. Currently, the main sizing constraints, the main bottleneck of the access to space is the launcher and the size of the fairing. But if we need to improve the capability of telecommunication satellites, if we want to improve the performance of Earth observation satellites, or even deep space spacecrafts, we need to send bigger and more efficient payload to space. And one of the solutions we are working inside Airbus is the in-space manufacturing, how to assemble, manufacture, and make these new capabilities in space, for space, and yeah, with the goal of being as efficient and as smart as possible in the use of raw material and all the resources that we need for these missions. Yeah, clearly we need today where we are blocked, let's say, in the development of new capabilities is in the efficiency of what we send to space because of the Earth gravity, because of what it cost us to launch something. We estimate that only 15 to 30% of the mass of a spacecraft is useful for the mission. And even in this ratio, let's say half or 2/3 of this ratio is dealing with the physical reinforcement and the packaging of the payload to sustain the launch loads, to sustain the space environment. And so, yeah, this challenge is first how to build as efficiently as possible the mission in space, bring there only what is necessary for the mission. How? That's one of the questions. And the second part of the challenge is on the assembly of this component. We have to do it remotely, as autonomously as possible. So that's why we want to work on robotics, artificial intelligence, and all the way to use new way of manufacturing to enable these new capabilities. So this is not science fiction. In Airbus and in other industries in Europe and in the world, we are working on these challenges, these new assets. For example, in Airbus, we have a very big portfolio of projects related to the in-space manufacturing. We are working on the development of very low-cost robotic arms, which could operate autonomously, self-assemble, which would be repairable, maintainable, so to have very efficient and capable, let's say, hardware assembly in space. That's a project we will send to the International Space Station. We will have a demonstration in the coming years. Another big project we are working on for the ESS also is the development of 3D printers, metal 3D printers, because metal is clearly one of the material most needed for the assembly of large structure of big spacecraft or space station or even moon bases or Mars bases. We need advanced material. We need to mine them perhaps directly in situ on the moon. So all these elements are clearly in your hands for this challenge. Consider them as mature technology, with the goal of, as I say, assemble and build a very performing satellite, a big space station, whatever you like, directly in space. That's the challenge. Do not forget something which is very important, the end-to-end product life cycle. It's one step to put and to assemble the satellite, but think also about the end of life, the way to assemble, to disassemble them, perhaps to recycle, and as we are dealing with assembly, with shipping of elementary items, we need perhaps individual packaging or something like that. Think about your Amazon packages, for example. What do you do with the cardboard? It will be the same question here. So yeah, please see the full picture, and yeah, do something profitable with all the raw material that you have there. That's fine.
Okay, so thank you so much to all these experts for their explanation and details of all this amazing challenge that you are going, I hope, to resolve. So now we are going to answer all your questions. So first we have one question. I'm not going to mention the name of the people who asked the question, but we are going to answer it. So is it a real-time access to the satellite, or is it dataset images?
So this question is related to the first two challenges. So in the sandbox, it's not real-time data, the archived data. So as I mentioned before, inside the dataset, we'll find about 50 images on each dataset. So images can be from 2015 up to now. So it's not real time, it's archived data. And I will also answer to the last question. Since when can I register and create my account for One Atlas Sandbox? So you can do it right now if you want. You can Google One Atlas Sandbox and find the first result. So you will see you don't need any account to access it. Simply search the dataset that you want to use, fill out the contact form, and then we will send it to you on the coming day. And what if I had created an account before? So there is no account to create on the Sandbox website. It's just a contact form. So if you have already requested an image dataset, you can do it again, no problem.
So another question, do you have the full ecosystem mapped already? Arnaud?
Number 3.
Okay, yeah. Yes and no. So we don't really want, let's say, to format you, giving really a static view on what we have. So please have a look at what's existing, because for that challenge, we are considering public and private companies, such as institutions, government, and in fact, any people that can have an impact on that space. So please be free to have a look to everything which is happening on the Earth right now. But no, we don't have, let's say, a fixed and frozen state for that. And I think this is maybe a link to the next one, which is putting too much business constraint on the project won't drive to a new idea. I totally agree for that. So I think that one is maybe for the other challenge where you have the Airbus capability and you just have to find a new mission. So if we propose that, is because we just don't want for you to develop a new product. And you know, at the cost to develop a space project is just enormous. This is really colossal. So the idea is giving you some capability, existing mature capability, is also to reduce clearly the way to time to market, and also the overall cost of your project, just taking existing assets. But if you need some update of the existing capability, please totally be free to say that, okay, I would prefer to have that, and maybe I will have this kind of orbit or this kind of new power consumption and blah, blah, blah. We can totally discuss. We have different plans which are ongoing in order to extend this space, which is into the future of that. And so maybe we will also be able to connect with our strategists internally and the R&D teams in order to really shape the future of the aerospace. The next one is about challenge number 3, so the moon. Shall we think about the way our solution will be profitable in the next 2 years, or just focus on the profitability up there to the moon? Yeah. For that challenge, let's assume that we are in 2025. So this is really the base assumption that the technology are more mature. So if you had to propose something, we are expecting, let's say, to have this famous 2 years of break-even. So yes, for the 2 years of break-even, but only once we'll be in 2025. So you just have to be a little bit mad, you know, in your head and to project yourself in the future. So that means it's not planned for 2027. In fact, it will be in no, sorry, it's not planned in 2022. It will be for 2027. But don't spend too much time here at the University just to show that we want you to be profitable and to sustain your startup in the future. Yeah, that's really one point. Okay, do we have further question?
So feel free to ask your question on the chat. We will answer. They will answer. Can we get some Airbus goodies?
Okay, it's a good point. Yeah, it's a good one because we didn't talk about that. Yeah, in fact, we have two awards at the end to give, but in the frame of the top competition, so you have to win in space. And yeah, we have two awards. The first one is the Entrepreneurship Prize, which is giving you an access of the space imagery you want, from when you want, where you want, with about 100K, so just 100,000 euro of voucher. So a lot of virtual money in order to buy, to get the imagery you want. It can be a selfie of you in your swimming pool, whatever in Toulouse, Lyon, or what you want, but yeah, it can be what you want. This is the first prize. The second prize with an access to the experts and the ecosystem of Airbus in terms of space imagery processing and so on. So access to the sandbox from Connected Intelligence. And the second prize, which is the Innovation Prize. And for the Innovation Prize, you will have, let's say, a specific session of training how to pilot an Airbus plane. So, sorry, it will not be a real Airbus. It's a virtual simulation, but with a real cockpit and everything we need to experiment and enjoy. What is it of flying on an Airbus project? And after, it will be also an amazing visit of the largest clean rooms that we have in Europe, which are the Airbus facility, and we'll have an access to the different spacecraft that we are building here, with a strong visit with some key experts explaining you everything about the spacecraft, and also a virtual reality session, which is exactly the same that we did with Thomas Pesquet a few days ago, in order just to go also on space, but virtually. And we are totally COVID-free for that because we have some new process in order to host this kind of session. So yeah, they are really the awards that we will give for the competition. Yeah, but after for the goodies, we have to discuss together. Another one for challenge 3, we are assuming that there is an already established base on the moon or a plan to establish one. It's a good point. I would prefer to really keep everything open to take the assumption of there is nothing. Or I mean, maybe some orbiters, but nothing more on the moon. So we have everything to do, everything to plan, everything to draft, and everything to experiment. So yeah, please don't take the assumption that something is already existing because it will be too much complicated.
So another question, not the 0G flight. Yes, this is the main prize of ActInSpace. This will be the international winner of ActInSpace who will win this flight. So this is it's still a prize of ActInSpace. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So another question, will Airbus expert be available during the event? If we have any question, can we contact you? So
yeah, so three different ways. If you want a question right now, please go with Aerospace Valley, and they will make the link, let's say, with us, which is before the event. Then after, during the event, two options, either physically, if we have a physical event and if we have Airbus people on site, we will be there during the 2 days in order to answer the question, whatever with the expert, the technical expert, or with the business coach in order to try to define your business model and business case. But we have also, which is the third option, the third channel, we have another alternative, which is using our pool of experts remotely. So they will all of them be connected through the app, and there is this call for expert, which is not for you as participant, which is more for different people, that will be able also to answer your question and try to contribute to give you on the right path for your idea. So yeah, different channels, and yeah, anyway, we are really strongly committed in order to be able to support Aerospace Valley, EXA, and CNES in that hackathon. So we'll be there, and whether physically or remotely.
Okay, another question.
Is the competition happening remotely to collaborate with our teams, or we have to meet physically? This is with respect to lockdown rules in place for different locations. Maybe it's for you. Yeah, sure.
So, so the competition can be a virtual event if your country or a city cannot organize physical event. This is totally allowed. So we are currently trying to make ActInSpace still a physical event, but we totally understand also the country's restriction about COVID. So you will be able to work with your team on some tools and remotely to participate to ActInSpace. So the second part, this is with respect to something in different location. Okay. Give more information. So the Airbus prices have been already evoked. Okay, so I hope that we answer all your questions. If you have other one. So yes, the date of the event will be the 13th and 14th of November 2020.
Okay, so another one on the challenge. Regarding the small satellite future challenge, apart from the different business case, should a world mission be proposed? Also, payload or technology can be developed. Should a world mission be proposed? Also, payload. Yeah. This is up to you. So I mean, you can really propose a full mission even if you don't get the technology to achieve that. But on the other case, if you get a very small technology that fits to a business need and that is really interesting, you can propose it. So yeah, ready for that one, let's open to discuss it. The only fact is always the same, desirability, feasibility, viability. So if you propose something that nobody wants to invest in, yeah, sorry, but it will be difficult. If you propose a fantastic solution, but that we cannot build it from a technology because we are using some materials that are not existing or whatever, again, it will be very difficult for us to support you. But if you just find some information and you didn't get everything to explain, but you think it will work and you explain why, yes, it's totally possible. So yeah, quite open, just let's see, prove and give reference and explain your concept, and after we can totally support you for that. And the question, another question is, as all of the subsystems should be analyzed. Really, guys, you just have to remind that this is a 24 hours challenge. So we cannot expect you to deliver in 24 hours what maybe 1,000 of engineers are performing during a full year. So no, for sure, we cannot ask you to do everything. But the more you will find, you will prove or justify the concept, the more we will be in confidence and we will trust in you and we'll want to help you. But no, slowly. Please just go to the very vital and essential parts and just forget the rest about because you didn't get the time to make it happen. And we have access to data beforehand, so it depends. If it's for space imagery, Robin, do you know when can they request access from now? Okay, so for space imagery using the One Atlas sandbox, this is already open, so you can request from now your access, and we'll be happy to give you in the day or tomorrow. So you have some, let's say, time to prepare yourself, to assess what's in your need, and to try to plan something. For the OneWeb specification platform, this is just you have to follow the link and you'll find the information. And after, for the rest, yeah, you can also understand that it's quite difficult to give you a full access on everything. So organization is not only that. So if you get any other specific request, please ask to us or Aerospace Valley, and we will see how we can let's say guide you on the right path. But yeah, for the space imagery, this is already open from now to everybody.
Okay, I think that we finished. So if you have other question, please feel free to ask it at the following address, contact@actinspace.com.
Okay.
Sorry, we have two other questions. So the first one is, can we join existing team from 12 September? So just a little reminder, registration are opening so the 12th of September. So it's on Saturday. So yes, you will be able and free to join the team, existing team. So you will just have to ask it on the website, and you will be allowed or not by the creator of the team. But I hope that you will be many of you to create your team and choose your challenge to participate to Act in Space.
It's okay. The next one. Sorry, there is another one. Will we have a specific markers regarding business model? So yeah, so it depends, I guess, of the different sites and the different partnerships that we have with the coach. But yeah, this is also the idea to provide not only technical expert, but also business coach. But after, it's not necessarily exactly the same depending on the different location. So physically, we cannot guarantee on all the sites, but at least, yes, remotely, we will have also a business coach that will be able to support you in your business case and business model creation.
So thank you so much to all of you for your question and your attention. Thank you also to Airbus to presented all their challenges that are really exciting. And we will send you an email in the coming days to give you the link for the replay, because the replay will be also available on the YouTube channel of Connect by CNES. So please feel free to watch it, and we will also send you an email. And so you will have my email address, Mathilde, and you will please feel free also to ask your question, and I will forward it to Airbus if you have other question about the challenges that you didn't think now. So thank you so much for your attention. The next webinar will be the 24th of September, and it will be the part 1 for the CNES challenges. So we'll hope that you will be many of you to see this other webinar, and thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.